Hey Trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe if you've yet to do so. Yeah. Also, Trackies, please go ahead and give me a follow over there on Instagram. The link will be in the description. Alright, so Trackies, this report is a follow-up on the 30-month ban that we did earlier with Christopher Taylor or concerning Christopher Taylor. Now, at the time, Trackies, I did say that I was, hoping to get some more information as it relates. So what exactly transpired? Because I was searching through the AIU report, and usually they tell you exactly, based on the hearing, what, the one party said versus what the other party said, right? And I wasn't getting that with the Christopher Taylor story. I just had the original story as it relates to him, where they pretty much painted the picture that Christopher Taylor was evading the drug testers. So Christopher Taylor has finally spoken out since the incident, Jackies, and he pretty much believes that he has no further place in the sport of track and field. That's crazy for a 23-year-old to even believe that. For me, is it hurts. It definitely hurts, to see a 23-year-old believe that he's hit rock bottom. But let me tell you something, even when you hit rock bottom, you can pick yourself up. There's only one place to go from rock bottom, and that's up, right? So track is he gave some clarity in the situation as it relates to what exactly happened when they say report says he was not home, and then drug testers had to search him down and find him. Well, he says he was indeed home. The testers came at 5:50 a.m. In the morning, and he was actually getting ready to leave for the airport. Now he had a flight at 8 o'clock. He says no, he was actually in the process, he says, of filing a new whereabout location since he was leaving the one that he gave them. However, he said one of the testers told him that since he did not file overnight, they will have to go through with the test. And he says that, and this is Christopher Taylor says that he blames himself for believing that since he did not sub to the test on that day, it will only count as a missed test. Now, Christopher Taylor says the officer advised him, who traveled with him to the airport, advised him that it would only count as a missed test. However, once they had the hearing, the person denied the claim that they told him it would only count as a missed test. Here we are at this particular point where Christopher Taylor is left feeling, I suppose, maybe betrayed by the sport of track and field, the sport and track and field that he has given his all, his entire life. Track is, young life, but still his entire life. Track is. So I'm just gonna let you take a listen to what Christopher Taylor had to say in this situation, and then I'm gonna come back with my final thoughts.
I haven't made a decision with my futures yet, but deep down, I don't think I belong in this sport anymore because of the whole experience I had. I don't think I have a place in this sport anymore. I'm an athlete that got tested a lot. If I'm at World Championship, I get tested before, after. I'm at the Olympic. What happened affect me in the Olympic final? I got tested the night before the finals, blood and urine, and I was just really weak. I'm an athlete that get tested a lot, so like me doing something like that would be nonsense. Not to know my right from my wrong,
Yeah.
and what I'm taking or not. So I've never avoided a drug test.
Yeah.
Never. I think I've been through it all. There's nothing more that I can face throughout the situation. I just leave the rest of it to God. I'm not too worried about nothing at the moment because things could have been worse. I didn't lie my way through nothing. I gave them everything that I had. So I will take responsibility for whatever happened to me, And if I had maybe asked Martyr then updating my whereabouts a few hours earlier, or not taking the flight or whatever, and just not thinking to be a mistake, things would have been better on my side. But I'm okay mentally for sure though.
All right, so Shakis, there you heard Christopher Taylor and what he had to say in this particular instance. So a few things or a couple of things that stuck out to me in this particular situation, and it's all about optics in my mind. Now, so the testers are there already at your place, and they are also traveling with you, right? So when you go into a hearing and you look at optics, if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at optics and I'm trying to figure out, so why is it that you weren't able to, give them a sample? They were at your home, they traveled with you to the airport, and you're still not able to give a sample. It definitely doesn't look good. So I can understand why they still, carried out that ban, even though, you're saying that, or Christopher Taylor was saying that, hey, that's not what they told me. They told me that it would only count as a missed test. Because if the tester is still going to follow you to the airport, I don't even see why he would follow you to the airport, considering that he indicated that he would, consider this a missed test. He wouldn't even need to follow you. He would just say, all right, gone about your business. You know what I mean? So definitely based on optics, it doesn't, suit Christopher Taylor's favor. So I can understand why he ended up in the situation he ended up in. But at the end of the day, Chuck, is this is also, a learning experience. Um for Christopher Taylor to think that he no longer has a place in the sport of track and field, for me at 23, is crazy. He did indicate that he lost his Puma contract. Now, I'm not sure if this is a lost contract or if it's an expired contract that did not get renewed, because he went pro right out of high school. So if this was like a 4-year contract or something, then I'm thinking it probably, has reached the point where it has expired and maybe it didn't get renewed. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know. That would be a shame if you just lose your contract because of something like this. You know what I mean? It would be strange for Puma to say, okay, you have a missed drug test. It's not even like he tested positive for something. You know what I mean? It's a evade. Sorry, he was evading. So that's what they say. So at the end of the day, I don't see Puma, cutting ties with him just because of that. So I'm wondering if it's a case where, it probably expired and they just didn't choose to renew it. But long story short, Chuck is in this situation. Clearly, at 23, Christopher Taylor thinks different than me that is in my mid 30s, right? So, but from I was young, there's a particular saying that stuck with me throughout my entire life. And you even heard Christopher Taylor say it himself, which is kind of contradictory to what he's saying. He's saying two different things to me, which it indicates to me like he's kind of confused in this particular moment, which is, understandable considering his situation. But again, based on, things that I was taught growing up, um, you know, in a situation like this, Jack, is you always think that, you're probably the worst off. But let me tell you something. There's this particular saying, and I don't know if I'm going to be quoting it right, but there's a man that was about to, off himself, and he had one banana, right? And he climbed a tree with the one banana in his hand, and he's like, all right, this is it. He ate the banana and he tossed the banana down to the ground, the banana's peel down to the ground, and he was ready, to take himself out. And right as he was about to do that, he looks below him and he spots somebody pick that banana peel up and eat it. And he's like, wow, I thought my situation was the worst it could get, but it clearly seems that, there's somebody worse off than me. And as such, clearly the man got down off that tree and said, you know what, let's keep living, let's keep fighting the good fight until I get there. And the moment you give up is the moment where it ends, right? Giving up is literally the end. So never, never give up. Just keep fighting. So that's all I have to say to Christopher Taylor. In this situation, you're 23. Right. And I'm sure Christopher Taylor doesn't think the same as a 23-year-old as he did as a 17-year-old. So eventually, I believe he will get over it, get back in the sport of track and field. He says that he wants to do the 100 and the 200. He was phenomenal at that. He actually tied the champs record back in the day, 10.12. I think Johan Blake held it at the time. Yeah, I think so. One of those people, child, or was it Zarnell? He was one of them. But anyway, he had actually tied that time back in the day. So a lot of people, were looking out for him in that 100 meters slash 200 meters. And he's a phenomenal 200-meter sprinter as well from champs days. But I don't know. I always tell y'all, that Jamaica seems to have this, they're bewitched when it comes to the men's 400 meters. They could see people excelling in other areas of the sport. It doesn't matter. It could be the jumps, it could be the throws, but it's like when it comes to the 400 meters, it's like you have to go back over there. You have to go back over there, whatever. So, I don't blame people like you saying, Bolt, for, saying, look here, let me try something else and see if it'll work. And it worked for them. So if there's a possibility that somebody can try something else and it works for them, then let them do it. You know what I mean? Don't force them, box them into, oh, you have to be a 400-meter athlete kind of thing. And that's pretty much what I feel, when it comes to Christopher Taylor. Yes, he was a star when it comes to the 400 meters from high school. When you look at the competitive times he was running over the shorter sprints, he would have stood a better chance there. You know what I mean? So hopefully Christopher Taylor comes back, and he doesn't give up. As I said, once you give up, that's the end. You know what I mean? And he's able to, do something phenomenal in the sport going forward. But anyway, check his y'all sound off in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. So this is Christopher Taylor, and this is what he has to say. He feels like he's at the end of his tethers. Like the video also and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.